Apple just made a pretty interesting move in considering a competitor to power its future Apple Intelligence. Leaks within the Android XR Glasses app already teach us what these new devices will be capable of doing. Future iPhones hint to bold changes in hardware along with some interesting features being tested. Samsung might be running slightly late on its plans with its Galaxy S26 series, and yes, it seems the best-selling smartphones of 2025 are not coming from the companies you think. I'm Jaime Rivera, and we are back, but there are an insane amount of additional CES content coming up, so stay tuned. For now, let's go through these 5 interesting topics. This is TechBriefing, powered by MediaTek. The official news today begin with a couple of milestones when it comes to the smartphone market. Counterpoint Research just provided its data for 2025, and let's just say you should be prepared to be surprised. On one end, well, Apple just became the world's largest smartphone brand in 2025, growing 10% and capturing 20% of the market share, narrowly beating Samsung's 19%. Counterpoint credits Apple's gains to strong Q4 demand driven by the iPhone 17 series, along with continued popularity for the iPhone 16 markets such as Japan, India, and Southeast Asia. On the other end, well, Google just gave us a pleasant surprise as its Pixel smartphones continue to grow despite remaining a niche player globally. Pixel shipments rose 25% year over year in 2025, with especially strong performance in regions like North America and Japan. Yet still in the others category, but guess who else grew within? Yeah, Nothing also posted solid momentum, growing 31%. As for the others, well, Xiaomi held steady into third place, while Vivo grew modestly by 3%. Oppo, however, declined by 4%, rounding up to the top 5. Looking ahead, Counterpoint expects the global smartphone market to soften in 2026. Rising component cost of DRAM and NAND storage driven by chip makers prioritizing AI data centers are expected to pressure shipments. Price increases have already started to appear, leading Counterpoint to cut its 2026 shipment forecast by 3%. Apple and Samsung are expected to remain resilient due to stronger supply chains and premium positioning, while Chinese brands focused on lower priced segments may face greater challenges. Let me know what you think about the winners in the comments. Now let's switch to Google, as you gotta love what app updates reveal if you know where to look, or if you have somebody that does. A new companion app for Android XR glasses has surfaced in the latest Android Canary builds, offering an early glimpse at Google's work behind the scenes. Discovered in Android Studio and highlighted by Android Authority, the Glasses app appears designed to pair and manage future Android XR smart glasses. I got to see the app as I tested Android XR glasses back at Google I/O, but obviously we weren't given much details over what we were using at the time. For now, it's mostly inactive without hardware, showing a generic glasses image and set of prompts with Google Store purchase options currently disabled. What's interesting is what this leak reveals once you dig further. Code strings show planned features such as camera controls, automatic or manual photo and video imports, video recording up to 1080p with a experimental 3K mode, and clip lengths similar to the Meta Ray-Bans. The app also references on-device conversation detection, where Gemini silences spoken notifications during conversations to protect privacy. With Samsung expected to launch the first Android XR glasses this year, the app suggests Google's software will play a major role in the XR experience. I'm wondering if this is gonna truly be just Android XR, or if we're getting a limited Android XR treatment with some One UI given what Samsung has done with its phones, watches, and TVs. I'm curious to know what you think about this in the comments. And well, after discussing the success of the current iPhone lineup, we know it didn't happen across the board. So yeah, the question is what Apple plans to do to improve on those that fell behind. So let's start with the iPhone Air 2. First, we heard it wasn't gonna get a refresh, but then we heard it will. Yes, Apple did an admirable job at ensuring the phone had good battery life on such a thin design, but the single camera just didn't cut it for some people. According to recent reports, Apple is preparing meaningful upgrades for the iPhone Air 2, which is not common in the iPhone world. We usually get the same phone the next year with better hardware. A late December leak suggested the iPhone Air 2 will add a second rear camera, likely an ultra-wide, addressing one of the biggest complaints. Now, battery life may also be improved thanks to a new COE display technology reportedly set to debut with Apple's foldable iPhone. This display technology reduces power draw in bright conditions by improving sunlight legibility and could also free up internal storage for a larger battery. Now, as for other iPhones, well, separately, Apple appears to be exploring more advanced camera technologies for future iPhones. Tipster Digital Chat Station reports that the company has shown interest in multispectral imaging sensors, though testing has not yet begun. Unlike regular RGB sensors, multispectral sensors capture light across additional wavelengths, potentially improving material separation, depth perception, portrait accuracy, low light performance, and visual intelligence features. Pretty much everything, seriously. While it's unclear which models adopt this technology, rumors point to the iPhone 18 Pro gaining a variable aperture 48 megapixel camera, a larger 48 megapixel periscopic telephoto, and we also heard the company was testing Samsung's 200 megapixel sensor. I'm curious to know if these changes are enticing to you in the comments. And speaking of Samsung, let's discuss what the company is planning for its next Galaxy series, which really needs to get more aggressive and, well, hear me out. According to a report from D-Lab, Samsung is planning to release the Galaxy S26 series in mid-March, with a March 11 launch date cited in France, though which could be earlier in the US, who knows? The lineup includes the Galaxy S26, S26 Plus, and the S26 Ultra, and is expected to be unveiled in February 26 at the Galaxy Unpacked event. If accurate, this would mark Samsung's latest Galaxy S release in years, later than the Galaxy S25, S24, and even the S23, and the latest since the Galaxy S9 in 2018. While dates may vary by region, France's timing often aligns with the US, Europe, and Korea, so it could be that that's just what it is. The delay appears tied to internal strategy shifts. Samsung reportedly scrapped plans for the Galaxy S26 Pro and Edge, reviving the Plus model after the S25 Edge underperformed and Apple kept the iPhone pricing steady. On the hardware side, leaks suggest the S26 Ultra will gain 60-watt wired charging, reaching around 75% in 30 minutes, paired with a slightly larger battery of up to 5,200 mAh, though some reports dispute the capacity increase. Wireless charging may also jump to 25 watts, but these upgrades are expected to be exclusive to the Ultra model. Obviously, with RAM and storage shortages, we do wonder if Samsung will be able to keep with the pricing, though as a chip maker, it might just be that they're better positioned to be competitive. I'm curious to know what you think about these changes in the comments. Now, before we get to the hottest news, let me tell you about today's sponsor, MediaTek. The Moto Edge is the company's latest premium flagship, matched with great looks, an amazing feel in the hand thanks to its premium materials, and also Motorola's latest collaboration with MediaTek on its Dimensity 7400 Ultra. Its 4nm architecture enables powerful experiences like the great color reproduction in this 6.7-inch curved display and what it provides. It's capable of all the cool improvements in Moto AI. Its chip efficiencies allow for all the endurance you need with 2-day battery life, and we have an ISP that delivers great photography from its triple camera system. It's the reason Motorola continues to trust MediaTek year over year. Thanks to MediaTek for sponsoring this video. And finally, for the most interesting news today, grab some popcorn as the unexpected has just happened. Apple and Google have announced a multi-year partnership that will see Google's Gemini models and cloud infrastructure play a foundational role in the next generation of Apple Intelligence and its own foundation models. According to both companies, Gemini will help enable future Apple Intelligence features, including a significantly more personalized version of Siri expected to arrive later this year. While Apple described the collaboration as a way to unlock new and more intelligent user experiences, it stopped short of detailing exactly which capabilities Gemini will power. It also remains unclear whether existing Apple Intelligence tools, such as writing tools, image playground, Genmoji, and notification summaries will transition to Gemini-backed models or continue using Apple's current in-house solutions. Apple stressed that privacy remains central to this partnership. Apple Intelligence will continue to process requests either directly on device or through Apple's private cloud compute servers, with Apple maintaining control over user data and privacy safeguards. Google's role is positioned as providing model architecture and cloud technology rather than direct access to user information. The revamped Siri, expected with iOS 26.4 around March or April after the lengthy delay, will focus on deeper contextual awareness, improved understanding of personal data, and stronger app-level actions. Though yeah, I'm even wondering if this just means that now Apple is pushing this to WWDC. Apple has previously demonstrated Siri pulling flight details, calendar events, and reservation information from mail and messages, as well as performing more complex multi-step tasks across applications, signaling a major leap from today's assistant. Now we just wonder, in addition to the possible delays in time frame, just how well it'll compete against Gemini, considering they're both sort of power the same, if not technically. In today's question, let me know, are you happy with Gemini powering Apple Intelligence, or would you have preferred ChatGPT or another service? Because in my case, I have to say, Gemini has really impressed me with its recent changes, so I think it's the right move, but I'm curious to know what you think in the comments. Friends, thank you so much for joining another episode of Tech Briefing. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments, as you've seen me try to respond to as many as I can. Also follow me on social media as more behind-the-scenes work continues to happen there. Guys, I have a ton of CES content still coming up, along with a full recap of the technology that I think is the one you should care about most this week, so stay tuned. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.